In light of recent news involving Iran, Israel, and occasionally Lebanon, I decided to bring you a video addressing the origins of Lebanon and the Lebanese people. Have you ever wondered who the Lebanese were in biblical texts? Who are the Lebanese today? Are they Arabs or descendants of the ancient Phoenicians? This is a question many people ask me, and in this video, I will clarify this topic as well as explore some prophecies related to Lebanon. So I ask you to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share this video with others who are also curious about who the Lebanese were in the sacred scriptures. Enjoy this content from the channel. The origin of the Lebanese and the prophecies about Lebanon. Lebanon is mentioned several times in the sacred scriptures, especially in the Old Testament, being known for its majestic cedars, trees that could reach an impressive height of 25 meters. Among the regions of the Middle East, Lebanon stands out for its lush vegetation, undoubtedly one of the greenest areas largely thanks to its iconic cedars. This combination of nature makes Lebanon a land of great beauty. In Arabic, Lebanon is called Lubnan, which is the pronunciation in Lebanese Arabic. Officially known as the Republic of Lebanon, it is a country located in the Levant in Western Asia. Lebanon shares borders with Syria to the north and east, Israel to the south, and the Mediterranean Sea to the west. Cyprus is located a short distance from its coast. Geographically, Lebanon sits at the crossroads between the Mediterranean basin and the Arabian Peninsula. With a population of over 5,000 people and an area of 10,152 square kilometers, its capital and largest city is Beirut. Historically, Lebanon is home to the ancient Neolithic farmers of the Levant, who constitute the genetic basis of the Semitic populations in the region. The Neolithic Levantine farmers who formed the foundation of the first civilizations in the area were primarily composed of the ancient Natufian culture and the famous culture of Neolithic farmers from Anatolia. There is ample evidence of ancient settlements in Lebanon, such as in Byblos, considered one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. These archaeological discoveries date back to before 4500 BC. In Byblos, archaeologists found traces of prehistoric huts with crushed limestone floors, primitive weapons, burial jars, and other artifacts left by ancient Neolithic and Chalcolithic fishing communities of the Mediterranean. Long ago, Lebanon was part of the northern Canaan, becoming the cradle of the descendants of the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, a maritime people who thrived along the northern Levantine coastal strip. The Phoenicians expanded throughout the Mediterranean in the first millennium BC, establishing important cities such as Byblos, Sidon, and Tyre. According to the Bible, King Hiram of Tyre closely collaborated with King Solomon, providing cedar logs for the construction of Solomon's temple and sending skilled workers to assist in the work. The Phoenicians are often credited as one of the primary creators of the ancient alphabet, also known as Proto-Sinaitic script in collaboration with the Arameans. Together, the Phoenicians and Arameans developed this important form of writing also referred to as Proto-Canaanite script, which gave rise to some of the oldest alphabets in the world. This innovation directly influenced the Greek alphabet, and consequently, the Latin alphabet. The relationships between the Arameans and Canaanites, that is, between the Arameans and Phoenicians, were marked by a certain degree of intermixing, with the Phoenicians blending with the Arameans since ancient times. Ancient Lebanon was conquered by the Egyptians, introducing a genetic element and intermixing of the Egyptian population into the Lebanese population. Later, the region was also dominated by the Assyrians, a people of Semitic origin like the Arameans. An interesting fact is that soon after the Assyrian conquest, the Babylonians known as Chaldeans also invaded the region of Lebanon, leaving a significant genetic legacy in the ancient population of the country. These various waves of conquest and cultural blending contributed to the rich ethnic tapestry of Lebanon throughout history. Years later, the Persian Medes under the Achaemenid Empire also dominated the region of Lebanon, leaving a genetic legacy in the local population. Subsequently, Alexander the Great arrived along with the Greco-Macedonians. The Phoenician city-states were incorporated into Alexander's empire, which besieged Tyre in Lebanon in March and conquered the entire region. Thus, the Greeks and Macedonians also left their genetic mark on the Lebanese population. After the era of Alexander, the Romans took control of the region. In 64 BC, the Roman general Pompey annexed Syria to the Roman Republic and the area was divided into two imperial provinces, Quello, Syria, and Phoenicia, the latter corresponding to modern-day Lebanon. The Roman presence also contributed to shaping the genetic legacy of the local population. During the Middle Ages, in the 7th century, Muslim Arabs conquered Syria from the Byzantines, including what we now know as Lebanon under the Islamic Caliphate. During the Caliphate of Uthman, between June and June, Callus Syria and Phoenicia were influenced by Islam, especially in Damascus, where Muawiyah, a relative of Uthman, served as governor. He sent forces to the coastal region of Lebanon. However, the mountainous areas of the region managed to preserve their Christian practices and other cultural traditions. Although Islam and Arab culture became dominant, the conversion of the population from Christianity and the Syriac language was a gradual process. The Maronite community in particular was able to maintain a high degree of autonomy, even in the face of a succession of rulers over Lebanon and Syria. The relative isolation of the Lebanese mountains provided a refuge in times of religious and political crises in the Levant, allowing this region to exhibit a rich religious diversity, with the presence of various sects and established traditions such as the Maronites, Druze, Shia Muslims, Ismailis, Alawites, and Jacobites. It is important to note that Arabs had been present in Lebanon long before the Middle Ages. They left a significant legacy both culturally and linguistically, along with genetic influences that shaped the Lebanese population over the centuries. The truth is that Arabs have been present in Lebanon since the 2nd century BC, with evidence dating back to 2200 BC, especially concerning the famous Iturian Arabs, who are considered descendants of Jatur, the son of Ishmael. After the Arab presence, Lebanon also came under Ottoman rule, which lasted for centuries. With the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, the region came under a French mandate which, however, was weakened by the German invasion of France in 1940. In 1943, Lebanon gained its independence from France, establishing a confessional system of government. Now let's address the question I raised at the beginning of the video. Are Lebanese Phoenicians or Arabs? This is a common doubt, and even some Lebanese, especially those of Christian origin, often do not identify as Arabs, preferring to define themselves simply as Lebanese. Some try to claim a self-declared Phoenician ethnicity, but this can be a misconception. Lebanese people exhibit a rich diversity in their ancestry, which undoubtedly dates back to the ancient Phoenicians. However, they were also conquered by different Arab populations that inhabited what we now know as Lebanon since the 2nd century BC, about 2,200 years ago. Before this, the Phoenicians had already mingled with the ancient Arameans, and this intermixing continued over the centuries, involving populations of ancient Aryan and Indo-European origins. Thus, to directly answer the question, Lebanese people form an ethnic group of Semitic and mixed origin. They have Phoenician, Greek, and Roman roots, but the Semitic origin is the most predominant among these genetic influences. Due to various invasions and conquests throughout history, it is accurate to state that Lebanese people are both Arabs and Phoenicians, as well as possessing traits from Arameans, Assyrians, and Babylonians, reflecting the complexity of their cultural heritage. Now let's explore the etymology of the name Lebanon. The word originates from the Hebrew language Lebanon, derived from the Hebrew root LBN, which means white. This etymology is closely related to the mountains of Lebanon, known for their peaks often covered with snow, especially in winter, which explains the association with the color white. Turning to the perspective of sacred scriptures, it is important to note that Lebanese people have their roots in the ancient Phoenicians, also known as Canaanites. While they have a native origin in the Phoenicians, they have undergone a series of ethnic mixtures with various Semitic origin groups such as Arameans, Babylonians, and Assyrians, among others. In the book of Ezekiel chapter 28, we find a prophecy against the king of Tyre where it is written, "I will send a plague upon you and make blood flow in your streets. The slain will fall in your midst by the sword that comes against you from every side." In Isaiah chapter 23, there is a message about Tyre and Sidon mentioning that this city is now laid waste, and that it was the Babylonians, not the Assyrians, who built siege ramps around it, destroying its strongholds and leaving everything in ruins. The prophecy of Ezekiel about the destruction of Tyre was partially fulfilled by Nebuchadnezzar and ultimately realized by Alexander the Great. Both the terms Tyre and Sidon refer to regions and cities in the ancient area we now know as Lebanon. An additional interesting fact about Lebanon is that it is undoubtedly one of the countries in the Middle East with the largest Christian population. This is particularly intriguing as the Middle East is commonly associated with Islam. However, about 36% to 40% of the Lebanese population is composed of Christians, representing a significant part of the Arab Christian population. This has been the video about the origins of Lebanon according to sacred scriptures, history, and genetics, as well as addressing the question of whether Lebanese people are Arabs or Phoenicians. May God bless you and see you soon.